Chewy recently sent out their 2024 model of the Hi10 X1. Now we've got the 2025 version. And the biggest difference with that between the 2024 and 2025 is the processor. Now this one is going to have the Intel N150, as mentioned here. This one has 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of internal storage, a 1280 by 800 IPS display, which kind of stinks for today's day and age, but I don't know, I guess for the price it might be all right. Specific model number is CW1642. And by the way, it does have a keyboard that's sold separately, so these two together will probably cost you around $255, give or take, at the time of this video, because there are some incentives, like 10% off with the keyboard, 20 bucks off on the tablet itself. And usually, more often than not, you're probably going to need the keyboard with this. I wish they came together, but maybe there are some cases where you don't need it. Alright, so here's everything that comes in the box, and then the other box is really just the keyboard here with the magnetic pin. It's all attached. So we'll get to that in just a moment. On here we have the USB-C wall outlet. Then there's the warranty card, which it shows that after buying it supports up to 1 year, but I think you have to buy it directly by Chewy itself. And the warranty card looks like this. Make sure you don't lose this. Then just some other stuff. The main thing is the user manual and the warranty card. And then we have the tablet itself that comes with the case that's pre-installed on here. So, and this is pretty much the only case that's going to work for it because it needs those like openings for the exhausts and fans. The one fan is going to be back here. Then on the top we got some more stuff. We got the volume keys, power button, and then on the back is the camera, as well as a front camera too, which I'll show in just a moment. But yeah, we got two USB-C ports, a mini HDMI or micro HDMI. Then on the bottom we have the magnetic port to get the keyboard on there. Nothing really. Oh, there is a USB 3.0. That's and a headphone jack. That's rare for 2025. Still nice to see. And by the way, this is a flap back here, so this can be opened up like so, and it's adjustable. It's pretty versatile, which is really nice. It's pretty much the same thing as the previous year, but if not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, and then the front camera is on top right there. Here is the keyboard with the touchpad on the bottom here. I'm gonna take this out, and then behind that it's kind of like a faux leather, fake leather you could say. It's got a soft touch, but it is kind of like a cardboard or hard plastic. And yeah, I see the magnets are on the back, so I initially thought that this was a defect by the manufacturer, but it's not the case at all. This actually goes on like so, and it stays on pretty well. I can lift this up and it still stays on. I think it might come off right if I play around. Yep, there you go. But yeah, it does a decent job, because usually the magnets are up front on top, so I'm not sure why they did it that way too much. There might be more strength if they kept it that way, because you see it's a little wobbly, but I guess it is what it is. It's not too bad here from what I can tell. By the way, here is what this looks like out of the casing. It's not too thick or heavy, but it just seems unnecessary. There's no reason to ever really take this out of the case, but just wanted to show you what it looks like. And one thing I do like is, again, that camera not protruding at all whatsoever. The camera's all right, just enough to take videos for a Skype call. Skype doesn't even exist anymore. I guess you could say Teams. But yeah, nothing impressive here, nothing too crazy. If there's too much lighting, it could kind of get a little messed up. But so far, this time it did a pretty decent job on there. It wasn't too overglowing. The rear camera seems a lot better. It's nice to know that it exists. It's great for taking pictures of like a friend's notes or a classmate's notes. But yeah, look at that. It's capturing everything here. Let's see, I don't know about that small font there. It's a little harder to read, but it seems like it just passes, even though it's kind of in a corner there. By the way, I will say that these are my daily drivers for earbuds. These are open air earbuds by Soundcore AeroClip, not being sponsored or anything. I'm just giving my opinion here. The best ones I've used for 2025 so far. But I digress. It's like shining. That is... Okay, so the speakers suck on here because they're not too loud, even at the highest volume. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Actually, now that I think about it, the last one had the same issue. It's basically the same body as the 2024 model. But if you haven't seen that, I won't keep mentioning it. I'll try to avoid it. The other thing is that this doesn't get too bright. So you're normally going to have this around like probably 50 to 100% brightness, around 100% during the daytime. Around the evening time, you can probably drop it down a little bit to make the battery last a little longer. Also, the battery kind of sucks on here. I hate to say all these negative things at once, but it just came up in my mind because I see that battery logo. It's because every like 2-3 minutes I lose 1%, something along those lines. And I'm not sure if it's with this unit specifically or in general. I want to say that's probably the case because the other previous generation didn't have a great battery either. So it chugs battery pretty quickly or drains it pretty quickly. And to be fair, when I look at laptops or use laptops, I always have my charger with me because I always need to keep it plugged in. So that's kind of the same case here. That's why that gets a pass for me, but I can understand why that would be a deal breaker for other people. So yeah, because this is one of the biggest selling points for this is really just the fact that it's like 10 inches, it's portable, easy to carry around, not too heavy. So that's really what it has going for it. And if you want to do basic tasks, because so far, I mean, basic tasks are just fine on here. No issues whatsoever. The trackpad, the keyboard, everything is pretty smooth on here. I haven't noticed any delays with basic tasks. Thanks to those 8 gigabytes of RAM, which doesn't sound like much, but again, for basic tasks, it's more than enough. By the way, this is how much storage comes out of the box. So you don't have too much to begin with, and it's even a little bit less, 214 gigabytes free out of 256 gigs. And then I do have some more screenshots of some benchmarks that I took here. This one's not a screenshot with Cinebench, which was pretty surprising to me actually, because the multi-core score is 2885, single core is 919, and on here it shows that it's not the worst performing CPU, but at the same time, this is worse than the 2024 model, which is surprising. If I ran a few more tests, it'll probably get around that level. I'm not really going to worry about a few points, but the fact that it performs around the same, the Intel N100 and N150, should tell you that if you're looking to upgrade, it's not worth the upgrade. This is supposed to be more smoother in performance, uses less power, but even though it probably uses less power, I'm not really seeing that reflected on here with the battery draining down relatively quickly. Maybe not as quickly as that one, but still, it's pretty quick to me. The one other place I tried benchmarking, I did a bench CPU, was CPU-Z, and these are the scores. A single core thread is 372.9, and multi-thread is 1276.1. So I'm curious to see how well games will perform on here. I'm going to start off with some easy stuff, see what we can really push out on here, but honestly, I'm not expecting too much. Before I get to gaming, this is what CPU-Z shows me. I'm not going to go through everything here, but it's pretty much what you can expect. First game we're checking out here is called Helltaker. This game is running just fine, no issues, honestly. So that's good. Alright. Actually, this is probably to be expected, that it's going to run like this. Whoa, this is pretty surprising. Yeah, this is actually handling this at 30 FPS. This is surprisingly running smoothly. That's great, honestly. I'm doing my best to do something here. Apologize, guys, for the awful gameplay here. But nonetheless, the fact that it's playable is what matters. I have the FPS counter on the top there. It did drop to 29 for a second, but yeah, this is playable. Wow, what the heck? Color me surprised and impressed. So yeah, you can handle some light form of gaming. I wouldn't expect a lot of 3D gaming, maybe some old games like the old Oblivion, not the remastered. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Overall, yeah, this is definitely an improvement overall. And oh no, I think I died, as usual. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This can handle some gaming, so that's perfect. Light gaming again. This is, again, really meant for taking around. Like, it's pretty portable, so that's really what matters here. Stay tuned for more, and as always, thanks for watching.